Socialism is synonymous with price controls. Rent controls are price controls. Minimum wages are price controls. Higher taxes are price controls. Government regulations of property rights are price controls. More bureaucracy is price controls, and price controls create shortages of things. The intent of socialists is to create shortages of things they don't want and forcibly redistribute capital to things they do want. Socialism is an anti-capitalist stance towards economics. So when someone tells you they're a socialist, they want you to accept that the government or a ruling class should be legally allowed to control prices. In 2024, the majority of California and New York state voters embraced far-left socialism, and to date, their modern socialist ideas have struggled to attract capital as well as people. For many of us, it sounds insane to hear that California is struggling to attract people, but New York's struggles were far more predictable. When it comes to capital or capitalism, it's hard to ignore the global recognition of Wall Street and the New York Stock Exchange. So when New York voters start openly embracing the confiscation of private property in favor of a socialist redistributionist model, Americans who are familiar with the basis of the U.S. Constitution, obviously, are going to take their capital elsewhere. Reading that California is failing to retain people sounds crazy. Hearing that people are fleeing California sounds insane. California is known for its natural beauty and having the best weather in the United States. It is also Hollywood, which should naturally attract people seeking to find the American dream. Freedom, liberty, and the pursuit of private property, which is the basis of the pursuit of happiness, are what the U.S. experiment is all about. It's hard to be happy when the government owns and controls your property and can redefine property rights because it's popular politics at the time. Demagoguery historically was synonymous with democracy, and socialism seeks to redefine property rights. So when most common sense people hear the words democratic socialism, they know the destructive association associated with people who embrace those ideals. Socialists like one-size-fits-all approaches to economics, which is why socialists will often embrace some sort of price control measure to serve their redistributionist model of economics. Currently, it's popular among environmental socialists to imagine that changing weather patterns are the result of fossil fuels. So environmental socialists imagine it a noble deed to use the force of the government to make the weather return to normal. Similar to religious zealots of prior eras, socialists reject freedom, liberty, and property rights in favor of a world that forces everyone to think and behave the way the socialists do. In New York and California, the ruling classes in charge of governance have taken novel approaches to property rights. In some instances, squatters have more rights than property owners. A squatter is a fancy word for thief. The socialist model of economics has always been to redefine and redistribute property. For example, if you own something of value along with proof of ownership and I steal it from you, but because your property is currently in my possession, according to socialist laws, I will have more rights to your property than you do. Now ask yourself, how economically sustainable is that society going to be? Most Americans consider the Department of Motor Vehicles and other government institutions to be a waste of their time. The socialists seek to grow and expand government institutions along with the bureaucracy associated with this growth. Big governments are known for their jails. Governments are known for wasting productive people's energy, time, and productive capital. Government employees don't have to adhere to the marketplace, and it's for this reason that the initial concept of America was to have limited government. Democratic socialism seeks to grow the size and influence of government, which some Americans like. However, it shouldn't come as a surprise that since New York and California have embraced democratic socialism, human capital is fleeing those regions. On this channel, we discuss price controls in all their forms. Our goal is to get you thinking more clearly so people in authoritative positions can no longer manipulate or steal from you without you knowing about it. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment.